It's Sunday, April 12, 2025, and this is 2+ Minutes in the Law and Politics. Do you sometimes feel as though you're back in 1776 dealing with a king who doesn't want to follow the law? I was rereading the Declaration of Independence today, and there was a line here that said, "He has refused to assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good." I think what they were complaining about is that even in cases where laws had been written, the king was refusing to follow those laws. And sometimes I worry that that's where we're headed here in the United States, particularly in a couple of areas where we've seen what I would call an executive branch not following judicial rulings. I think, to be clear, most of the time I think the executive is abiding by most of the federal court's rulings. But I'm concerned with two areas in particular. One is immigration. The United States Supreme Court told the executive branch last week, no, really, you need to get that man from Maryland back from El Salvador and return him back to the United States so that he can have the hearing that he was entitled to get in the first place. The executive branch still hasn't done that. President Trump still has not brought that man back, and they're only marginally complying with the court rulings, asking for status updates and asking for their plan as to how they're going to get that man back into the United States. And the second area that concerns me quite a bit is this assault on lawyers and law firms. And so we've talked about that for the last couple of weeks. I was rereading today one of the law firms' pleadings in their litigation against the government. And the law firm Sussman and Godfrey began its brief by saying, "In America, we have, in the words of John Adams, a government of laws and not of men." And so I would hope that the executive branch starts behaving that way. We don't have a king in the United States. We don't want a king in the United States. We want an executive branch that's going to follow the laws that are written and not try to just control every facet of the government and of our lives.